In GTA Online, there are some interesting characters that are supposed to help out our journey in GTA Online, but some of those characters are absolutely worthless and just straight up annoying. So today in this video, I will create a tier list of every character in GTA Online. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Alright, so today in this video, we're going to be doing a GTA Online character tier list. So these are going to be the characters that are supposed to be helping us out in GTA Online, but you know, some of them actually do help us out. Some of them are pretty funny, then others are just absolutely annoying, worthless. They should just be muted. And we're gonna have pretty much 6 categories. Top category are gonna be the GOATs. You know, these are the best of the best. These characters are always just gonna put a smile on our face. Then the next category is gonna be pretty good. I mean, yeah, these characters are pretty funny. They're just not as good as the GOATs. And then we have the category meh. You know, these characters, they're not like good, but like they're not bad, you know, they're just kind of right in the middle and no one really cares. And then there's another category of just absolutely forgettable characters. Like honestly, like once I look back and just like thought about these characters, I don't have much of an opinion just because they're so freaking forgettable. So yeah, there's a forgettable tab. And then there's a category that's just not great. These characters are, you know, not good, but you know, they're not to the point where they deserve to be muted at least. And then the bottom category, there's going to be a category of removing these characters / muting these characters because these characters are absolutely annoying. They're absolutely worthless. So yeah, there's definitely going to be a few of those characters on this list. And joining us is going to be Hyper Ninja. We're going to be going over these characters and then we're gonna give our opinions on these characters. So yeah, Hyper Ninja, say hello to the crowd.
Hello, it's me.
Wow, okay, man, a few words. All right, yeah. All right, so our first character that we're gonna get into is going to be Lester Crest, a character that's very, very prevalent in story mode, but also is a big factor in GTA Online. Hyper Ninja, what is your opinion on Lester? Where does he belong on this tier list?
I feel, personally, I think it's quite great. You know, people don't like him because they say he takes too much money.
Okay, so are you saying he belongs in the pretty good tier? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, you think he's a pretty good tier? All right. I'm going to come in. I'm saying Lester is a GOAT. He is an absolute GOAT in my opinion. You know, with him being such a big factor in story mode and GTA Online, there's a little bit of kind of like that nostalgia aspect to him, you know? People like some good nostalgia. I'm a sucker for nostalgia. Yeah, Lester, in my opinion, is a GOAT. He's a big part of some big heists in GTA Online, too. You know, the original heist, the Doomsday heist, the Diamond Casino heist. He's a big part, and also you can call him, too, and you can remove the cops with him, too. That's a big aspect of GTA Online. I mean, yeah, he's a little weird, but he's kind of like that funny weird, you know? So, yeah, Lester Crest, in my opinion, is a GOAT. For Hyper Ninja, he's saying he's in the pretty good tab. All right, so the next character that we're going to get into is going to be a pretty controversial character, and it's going to be English Dave. So, Hyper, what do you think of English Dave?
I think it's pretty annoying, to be fair, you know, especially when he rings you about your nightclub. I like his accent, you know, because he is British. So I'm probably going to go, like, meh in the middle.
Oh, you're going meh. Okay, you're going meh. That's pretty interesting. I think you're going to be a lot higher than a lot of these other guys. Yeah, you're probably higher on them than the general public. For me, I'm going to put English Dave in remove / not great. Yeah, now obviously, like him ringing you, like, I don't know. It feels like every at least 20 minutes is really ridiculous. He really pisses me off. I don't know. He's just annoying. He's just annoying. There's going to be some other people in the remove / not great category that I think are definitely worse than English Dave, but still, in my opinion, English Dave, he's just not great. He's absolutely not great. Just he calls you too much, and then, I don't know. He's a little obnoxious, in my opinion, when he talks to. So, yeah, just remove him or mute him. That's where I'm putting him. All right, so our next character is going to be Labrat. Hyper Ninja, what is your opinion on Labrat?
I'm going to go bad.
Bad, okay. You're going bad.
Mainly because he's just stupid.
Yeah, I'm putting him in the not great category. Yeah, he's one of those characters too. He just kind of just says random crap, you know, not a lot of substance. And I kind of understand where the game's going with Labrat. They're trying to make him say some really stupid stuff, try to make us laugh. And just in my opinion, the joke's really not hidden. He's just a moron in my opinion. He's just an absolute moron that's obviously on some stuff. And yeah. So he's not to the point where he's a remove/mute like English Dave, but yeah, in my opinion, he's still not great. All right, so our next person that we're going to get into is going to be Janette Eckles. Hyper Ninja, where are you putting Janette Eckles?
Forgettable, because I do not know or remember who this person is, what DLC they're from, or what they do.
That's fair point. That's fair point. I mean, I was very vague on who Janette Eckles was. We got into Hyper Ninja's opinion because I really wanted to see just how much he knew on Janette. He knows nothing. And that's the crazy thing. Janette Eckles came with this last DLC. This is Maud Eckles' daughter. This is the person that's really going side by side with you in the bail house. This is our main person in the bail house, but obviously Hyper Ninja just completely forgot. Now, for me, I didn't forget. I obviously, with her being a very recent addition in GTA Online, I'm at least aware of who Janette Eckles is, but honestly, I'm putting her in meh. I don't really have much of an opinion. She's not bad, but she's not great, you know? So, yeah, I'm just putting her in meh. All right, so the next person that we're going to get into is going to be Mimi. Now, Hyper Ninja, where are you putting Mimi?
Just like the last character, I'm gonna go forgettable, because yet again, I do not know this person.
Okay, and that's fair. That's fair. If you don't know her, yeah, put her in forgettable. But this person is one of the main people directly in the LS Car Meet. This is where you have to go and purchase your LS Car Meet membership from. And yeah, but aside from that, she really doesn't do anything else much. But yeah, so I'm also putting her in forgettable. Like, after this cutscene that you're watching right now, and then just buying the LS Car Meet membership, there's nothing that she does. Like, you are not going to her. I mean, I guess if you want to, like, do a car show in the LS Car Meet, you go to her, but I mean, who's really doing that? Like, what? So yeah, both me and Hyper Ninja are putting Mimi in forgettable. All right, so our next person that we're going to get into is going to be Simeon. Hyper Ninja, how do you feel about Simeon?
Simeon, I hate Simeon. You know, he's just bad because main reasons. The missions that he has are terrible. They're just terrible. They make no money. They take too long for what they are. And also, he rings you and messages you about cars, which means whenever you steal a car on the street, most likely you're going to get the police, because Simeon wants that car. He should be gone and muted entirely.
Oh, you're remove/mute. Okay. See, I'm not that harsh on Simeon. I'm putting Simeon in the not great category. I mean, yeah, pretty much for the same reasons as Hyper Ninja. I mean, he rings you too much, like telling you to steal some cars, trying to do one of his boring missions or whatever. Yeah, he's not that great. But I mean, the one benefit to Simeon, I guess, is more of like his store or his like car dealership. You can actually get some free snacks, which is pretty nice. So I mean, that's like a little bit of a positive, but he's just a little annoying. He rings you no matter like what level you are or whatever. So yeah, he's in the not great category for me. All right, so we're getting into our next person right here, and this one's going to be Martin Madrazo. Hyper Ninja, how do you feel about Martin Madrazo?
I think he's okay, for a few reasons. One, his missions, whenever they're double money, they're actually really fun. It's something I used to do a while ago when I was a low level, and they used to make quite a bit of money for what they were, and they were quite interesting. My only downside is that he does ring you quite often, and I don't think it happens anymore because it hasn't happened. But when you go close to his house, you would get called by him. So I'm going okay there with him.
So yeah, you're putting him in the meh category. I am putting him in the not great category. I mean, you kind of mentioned it, and this has a little bit more weight in my opinion. He just rings us so much, at least in my opinion. I mean, not to the point of English Dave, but he still rings you a lot. It's like, shut up, dude. I don't want to do your missions. I'm trying to do some other stuff. I'm trying to record a video here. So, yeah, for me, I'm putting him in not great. All right, so the next one that we're going to get into is going to be the mechanic. Hyper Ninja, how do you feel about the mechanic?
The mechanic, I'd say he is one of the GOATs of GTA Online. He's been there since the beginning. And in the beginning, he used to bring your car to you personally, and I love that. He doesn't anymore, but still, especially now, he gets your car to you, and he's just been there for so long. He's a GOAT.
All right, so that's actually pretty hilarious. What, you put him as a GOAT? That's what you said? You put him as a GOAT? Literally what I'm watching right here is the mechanic back like in 2013, 2014, just driving someone's vehicle just straight into the water. So, I mean, that's pretty funny that you say he's a GOAT while doing that. I'm not going to be as high on him as you. I'm putting the mechanic as not great. Yeah, I'm putting the mechanic as not great. All right, so the next person that we're going to get into is going to be Malk. Now, Hyper Ninja, where are you placing Malk?
Me personally, it's probably just going to be, like, forgettable. Nah. He's a character I kind of remember. We're going to say forgettable. Because he just doesn't do much, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm seconding that opinion. Yeah, I'm also putting him in forgettable. I mean, like, once you buy your MC Clubhouse for the first time, you get this cutscene that you're watching right here, kind of showing, like, the layout of your MC Clubhouse. And then, like, there's, like, a set of missions that you can do that, like, he's kind of the main guy to help you out with them. But, like, aside from that, like, he's not really a part of the game, and those missions are not even like that worth it unless if they're like double money, and then even still they're not great. So nowadays, like, once you get like settled in GTA Online, you are not messing around with Malk at all. So yeah, I am also putting him in forgettable. All right, next guy that we're gonna get into is going to be Ron. Hyper Ninja, where are you putting Ron?
I'm probably going to put Ron in pretty good for a few reasons. He's part of one of the heists in the original heist. And he had some quite funny cutscenes. My one downside is, for me, he does ring me a little often, not too much, but he does ring me asking me to come back to the hangar. But that's my only downside.
Yeah, I'm also putting him in the pretty good category. I mean, yeah, Ron is another character that's a part of story mode. He's not one of the big dogs in story mode, but he has a pretty big part. So yeah, the little bit of nostalgia just warms my heart whenever you see Ron. And he's another character kind of like Lester, where he's a little weird, but he's kind of like that funny weird, you know? He's not like the what the heck are you talking about weird. So, yeah, I'm putting him in the pretty good category. Not as good as Lester, though. I mean, to be honest, he's not as much of a use as Lester, so that's why I'm ranking Lester above Ron. But, yeah, Ron, still pretty good in my opinion, putting him in the pretty good category. All right, next one that we're going to get into is going to be Maud. Hyper Ninja, how do you feel about Maud?
For Maud, I'm probably going to say forgettable, especially in GTA Online. She only has one or two cutscenes in online, one of them being for the new DLC. But in story mode, she did play a bigger role. There was a lot of small missions you could do with Trevor, the bounty hunting. But for regular online play, I'm going to say she's probably pretty forgettable.
Okay, so you're putting her in forgettable. I am putting Maud in the meh category now, obviously, with the bottom dollar bounties DLC. I don't think it's to the point, like, where she is forgettable. I am putting her in meh, and I'm putting her in meh just because, yeah, she doesn't have that big role in the bottom dollar bounties DLC. And then, yeah, whenever she does talk, like in the few cutscenes or whatever, she's just kind of meh, whatever. I mean, kind of funny, but, you know, not great. And then she also has a little role when you get the stone hatchet too, but nothing really to like get overly excited about here, but at the same time, nothing to really piss you off. And I mean, you will see later on, there's going to be a few characters that are really going to piss me off. So Maud, you're right in the middle. You're meh. All right, so the next person that we're going to get into is going to be Paige Harris. Hyper, how do you feel about Paige Harris?
I quite like her because in the Diamond Casino heist, she's very useful. She gets you like one of the highest times in the bank and then easy hacks. So I want to go pretty good, to be fair. And she also has a large role in other heists, like the original heist. So I'm going to probably say pretty good.
Okay, you're putting her in pretty good. I'm putting her in meh. I mean, yeah, you think she has that big of a role? I mean, for the Diamond Casino heist, using her as a hacker, yeah, she's a pretty good hacker, but at the same time, like, she doesn't have, like, an actual role itself, you know? She's not really talking a whole lot in that aspect. And then when she does talk, though, during the original heist, she's kind of boring or whatever. Yeah, she rings me a little bit to, like, purchase the terabyte, which I won't take that away from her. If I purchased a terabyte, then she would shut up. But she doesn't piss me off, but she's not good in my opinion. She's just right in the middle. She's meh. All right, next person that we're going to get into is going to be Byrony. Hyper Ninja, how do you feel about Byrony?
I'm going to go probably forgettable because I think I remember, like, she's an assistant of some sort, but, like, I don't, like, in my mind, I don't think of, like, a cutscene or somewhere where she's, like, used in my mind.
And that is very true. I'm watching a cutscene right now. She is a part of the Arena Wars DLC. She's the assistant to the head guy that we're going to get into later on. But Byrony, yeah, in my opinion, too, she is very, very forgettable. I mean, no one really does the Arena Wars for one. So, yeah, we're not going to have a lot of opportunities to really, or not even any opportunities to really hit Byrony once you're like outside of the Arena Wars. And then, yeah, and then too, she's just kind of doesn't leave a very lasting impression on me. So, yeah. She is a forgettable person, in my opinion. Our next character is going to be Miss Baker. How do you feel about Miss Baker?
Miss Baker, Agatha Baker from the Diamond Casino House. I want to say she's probably meh for me because she is involved in the Diamond Casino and there's quite a few missions in that you do, and I think they're quite interesting and there is quite a big involvement. I don't really know, but she doesn't really ring, so. But I wouldn't say she's necessarily forgettable because it's like part of the Diamond Casino heist. Not heist, but like Diamond Casino in general, so I'm gonna go meh.
Yeah, I'm also gonna put her meh. I mean, yeah, once again, she doesn't really piss me off, but at the same time, she doesn't really, you know, she's not that great of a person in my opinion. So just right in the middle, meh. Now, I know a lot of people, they're like, oh my God, Miss Baker is very hot. Anyways, yeah, Miss Baker. I know a lot of people are probably going to have her higher, but yeah, she's meh. She's just meh. All right, so our next character that we're going to get into is going to be Tony Prince. Hyper, how do you feel about Tony?
Tony, I'm probably also going to go meh. Pretty decent role in the After Hours update in the nightclub. I do also remember, so there's a bit of nostalgia from Lost and Damned and GTA 4. So I'm probably gonna go somewhere about meh for him.
All right, yeah. So Tony Prince, I'm putting him in pretty good. Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's like the main guy with the nightclub, and I don't know, he's kind of funny. He has a few good one-liners and whatnot. So yeah, kind of puts a smile on my face whenever he says some of his one-liners. So yeah, he's not like good enough to be in the GOAT category, but yeah, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. All right, so our next person that we're going to get into is going to be Allan Jerome. Hyper, how do you feel about Allan Jerome?
Allan Jerome, after remembering him and like having more, if you do the Arena War, you're probably going to hear a lot of him, and he is quite significant in that. But because I don't, I'm going to go probably meh.
Yeah, I'm pulling Allan Jerome in forgettable. Yeah, no one does Arena War. Yeah, this is his only little cutscene right here. He doesn't really, outside of like the cutscene in Arena War, he has nothing. He has nothing else to do in GTA Online. Just a classic forgettable right here. Just an absolute staple of the forgettable category. This is pretty much textbook forgettable. Let's move on to the next person. All right, so the next person that we're going to get into is going to be Avery Dugen. Hyper, how do you feel about Avery Dugen?
Avery Dugen, I'm probably going to go not great because they're not a character that is great, but they are Dugen. And I don't like the Duggins. They're just annoying to kill. They just appear in random missions and then in casino missions. I just don't like them. So that means Avery Dugen's getting a not great for me.
Yeah, I'm going to second that opinion. I'm going Avery Dugen in the not great category also. I mean, part of that Dugen family, not a great family or whatever. Yeah, we're supposed to hate Avery Dugen. I don't know, but then he turns good at one point, and then he takes over the casino and then turns bad. So, I don't know, just a little annoying in my opinion. How he's like bad guy, turned good guy, then turned back to bad guy. Oh, yeah, he fired. Boy, that we're going to get into later on. But, yeah. So I think with all that being said, he deserves to be in the not great category. All right, so the next person that we're going to get into is going to be Trevor Phillips. How do you feel about Trevor?
Trevor, I'm going GOAT for a multitude of reasons. He's nostalgic, especially from story mode. He's funny. He has many great lines. His cutscenes in online are still also great. And his heist in the original heist is probably in my top 3 of them. Because it's not a hard heist. The setups aren't terrible. And the actual heist itself is quite fun. So for that, he is a GOAT.
Yeah, I agree with that. He's an absolute GOAT. Yeah, he doesn't have like that big of a role, in my opinion. in GTA Online. Like, obviously, he's one of the main 3 in story mode. But yeah, he has the Series A funding heist. That's pretty much all him. And yeah, that he's absolutely hilarious during that heist. Doesn't make a lot of money, but yeah, he's absolutely hilarious. Just says the most outlandish things. There's a few missions too outside of the Series A funding heist, and he says some pretty funny things there too. So yeah, he's an absolute funny character. He's one of the funniest characters, if not the funniest character in GTA Online. Trevor Phillips deserves to be a GOAT. All right, next person that we're going to get into is going to be the assistant. This is going to be, we're just going to lump the male and female assistants into one. How do you feel about the assistant?
I'm going to put the assistant in pretty great. Because if you're in a CEO, you can call your personal vehicle from the impound lot for 1,000. So it's quite good for that reason. It means you don't have to drive all the way there or get it destroyed. You can get snacks and you Pegasus vehicle from the office. But other than that, you know, she's just not, you know, useful. But still, I'm going to put pretty good because of, you know, them reasons.
Yeah, I'm going to put the assistant in forgettable, actually, for me. Yeah, you walk into the CEO office and she says hello, or they say hello, and then you can get some snacks and whatnot from them too, but not a big role, but they're not supposed to have a big role, but yeah, I'm just putting them in forgettable. All right, so our next person, and it's not really even like a physical person. It's going to be Clifford. How do you feel about Clifford?
Remove Clifford because I hate his voice. His voice in the Doomsday heist. It's just so annoying. He'll speak over, and it's just annoying. I just want him to shut up, be muted, and removed. And then when he calls fake Elon Musk daddy, it just makes me feel sick, and I just want him gone.
Yeah, we're gonna have some differencing opinions here. You're putting him in remove. I am putting Clifford in pretty good. I actually don't mind Clifford. I don't mind Clifford at all. I mean, like, Avon, I have some opinions about Avon, but Clifford himself, like, Clifford's kind of funny. I mean, like, as someone that did or does the Doomsday Scenario heist a lot, like, some of the things that he says is just kind of funny when you really think about it. I don't know. Like, I'm just laughing even thinking about some of the things that he even says. I mean, this is a classic case of a pretty good character. And it's not even a physical character. It's just an AI. So, yeah, Clifford, pretty good in my opinion. All right, so the next character that we're going to get into is going to be Georgina Chang. Hyper Ninja, how do you feel about Georgina Chang?
Georgina Chang. I'm going pretty good. For a few reasons. The Diamond Casino heist. She's the reason we do it. And it is my favorite heist in the game. So that's a reason. She's pretty good looking. And we know because she gets with Lester at the end of the heist. And that's just great. So for that reason, she does get pretty good.
Yeah, so in my opinion, I think Georgina Chang is going to be meh. And I'm only putting her in, I don't know, she's just kind of a person that's in the game to build the story for Lester. Like, she's really not here on her own. She's not really doing a lot on her own. Like, to be honest, like, yeah, I mean, she does create the opportunity for us to do the Diamond Casino heist, but I mean, like, I don't know. She doesn't really build much beyond that, other than just like a love interest of Lester Crest, you know, and Lester is my boy. But yeah, she's just a love interest for Lester Crest. She's not bad, but she's not great. So yeah, she's a meh for me. All right, so the next person that we're going to get into is going to be Avi Schwarzman. Hyper, how do you feel about Avi Schwarzman?
I'm going to go with meh, because yet he is the best hacker for the Diamond Casino heist. He gets you 3 minutes 30 in the heist. It's just a pain to get them. You have to destroy all of the jammers around the city, which it's just annoying to do. So it would be pretty good if he didn't have to do that to get them. Also, I like his cutscene in the Pacific Standard. I thought it was quite funny, and you having to rescue him. But he gets a meh from me.
So I'm putting Avi Schwarzman in the pretty good category, and just another character, in my opinion, who's just pretty weird. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Avi Schwarzman is a weird egg, but at the same time, he says the weird stuff that he says is just kind of funny. You know, it's just kind of like oh my God, you actually said that? It's just one of those things. I don't know why. It's just like one of those things where like you have these weird characters in GTA Online that probably wouldn't do very well in the real world, but in GTA Online, they're just kind of funny. So yeah, he's in the pretty good category for me. All right, so the next person that we're going to get into is going to be Franklin Clinton. Now, Hyper, how do you feel about Franklin Clinton?
Franklin Clinton. He is going to be one of my goats. Because he's a funny character, but he's a serious character. A lot of nostalgia from story mode. And his come up in that was really good. And then he gave us the agency, which is really fun because we get Amani Tech cars. And then we also got the agency itself, which I kind of like some of the missions, the contracts. And then the Dr. Dre missions were really fun to do. And there's a good payout, especially when it's double money. So for that reason, he is a GOAT.
Yeah, I'm also putting Franklin in the GOAT category. Yeah, no, he's one of the main three in story mode, so the nostalgia is there with him. And Franklin, he is pretty funny too. Him and another person that we're going to get into later on, like their banter back and forth is absolutely hilarious. Yeah, pretty much the main guy when it comes to the agency. Yeah, Franklin Clinton, I absolutely think is a GOAT. Just absolutely great character. You really just can't hate Franklin at all. You cannot hate him at all. There's nothing wrong with him. Absolutely perfect character across the board. Franklin, he's a GOAT. All right, next person we're going to get into is going to be Laszlo. Hyper, how do you feel about Laszlo?
Not great. I just don't like him. He's stupid man bun, and his involvement in the After Hours DLC, it's just not significant. And when you get a couple phone calls from him, and he's just annoying. He sounds annoying, and he just sits in your nightclub and just stands there and dances. He's just annoying, and I don't like him. Not great.
Yeah, I'm also putting him in not great category. Yeah, Laszlo, I mean, he's a part of these like intro cutscenes with the nightclub, and then I mean, he really doesn't have that much of a role after that. But like whenever you walk through your nightclub, sometimes you'll just hear him crying, like laying down like in the middle of your nightclub. It's like, come on, man, like shut up, dude. I don't need to hear you crying. It's kind of pathetic. It's kind of annoying. He doesn't need to be muted or removed from the game just because, he doesn't have that big of a role, but still, the little role that he does have is a little bit annoying, so I think that's why he deserves to be in the not great category. All right, next person that we're going to get into is going to be Rooster Hyper Ninja. How do you feel about Rooster?
Rooster, I'm going to put him probably in meh, because what I remember, all he does is he gets air freight cargo. I think he has another role, but I don't know it, so for that reason, he gets a meh.
Yeah, I have a very strong opinion about Rooster. Rooster, he needs to be removed. He needs to be muted. Absolutely ridiculous. I don't know what Rockstar was thinking with this character. And I actually do think they did mute him because, like, every time that I go up and try to source air freight cargo from him, like, he doesn't even talk anymore. He used to talk whenever you walk up to him. He doesn't even talk anymore. I think Rockstar even, like, understood, like, hey, we messed up here. This guy is absolutely annoying. Rooster, terrible. Absolutely terrible. He deserves to be muted. All right, next person we're going to talk about is going to be the Translator. And this is the Translator for Mr. Chang. How do you feel about the Translator?
I'm going to put him in forgettable. He's just another minor character in online. He's just with Mr. Chang. And either way, they don't appear very often, and the cutscenes are minimal. So for that reason, he just gets a forgettable. He's not great, he's not bad.
Yeah, I'm also putting him in the forgettable category. Yeah, kind of the same reasons. I mean, he's pretty outlandish, he's pretty funny, but Mr. Chang, he's just kind of there, just kind of trying to mellow it out for Mr. Chang, just kind of trying to make Mr. Chang sound a lot better, but he's just kind of boring. So yeah, for that reason, I'm just putting him in forgettable. All right, so the next person that we're going to get into is going to be Jamal. How do you feel about Jamal?
Jamal, I'm going to put him in forgettable because he's not, as great as someone like Yusuf, who had a major role in GTA 4 as well. But, he's there. He has his lines in the DLC. But for me, he just wasn't that great. But I'm not going to give him anything bad. He's just going forgettable.
Yeah, Jamal, I'm going to put Jamal in the meh category. I mean, kind of the same thing. I mean, he says some things, but he's not funny in my opinion, but he's not like annoying. He's not like the Rooster annoying, anything like that. So yeah, for me, I'm just putting him in meh. I think that's where he belongs. All right, so the next person that we're going to get into is going to be Agent 14. Hyper, how do you feel about Agent 14?
For me, I'm going to put Agent 14 in pretty good because he's prevalent in the Doomsday heist, in the original heist, and I think his lines are quite funny, especially in the cutscenes. He's that typical, like, American US agent, and for that reason, he is quite funny, so he gets pretty good.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you. I'm also gonna put him in the pretty good category. Yeah, I mean, he says some pretty funny things. He's not like over the top, like crazy, like, you know, really, really funny. Not like Trevor funny, anything like that. But he still has some lines in him. I'm putting him in pretty good. All right, so the next person that we're gonna get into is going to be El Rubio. Now, Hyper Ninja, how do you feel about El Rubio?
El Rubio, even though I'm not a stan for the heist on his island, I'm still going to put him in pretty good because the value you've been able to get out of him is pretty good. And I think in the cutscenes where you do be with him at the start is actually quite funny. I like his character, the way he presents himself. For that reason, I'm going to put him in pretty good.
Yeah, I think I'm also putting him in pretty good. His character is pretty funny. I mean, like the intro cutscenes for the Cayo Perico heist. I mean, he's a pretty interesting character. I mean, it's very clear he wants things his way and whatnot, which is pretty funny. He's absolutely just talking down on some random DJ or whatever. It's kind of funny. Not that big of a role other than like he's the big guy on Cayo Perico Island. We're robbing him, but I don't know. He's pretty good. All right, so the next person that we're going to get into is going to be Lamar Davis. Now, how do you feel about Lamar Davis?
Lamar gets a GOAT from me because he's the first character you meet in GT Online, right? He is funny. He appears all throughout doing different things. And for all these reasons, he's just a GOAT in general.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I also think he's a GOAT, and this is someone who's just is absolutely funny. Like, honestly, very comparable to Trevor in the aspect that he just says the craziest thing. And, yeah, I don't know. He's just a pretty funny character. Absolutely makes you laugh regardless of how you feel or, you know, whatever you're doing. So, yeah, he's an absolute GOAT in my opinion. He also brings that story mode nostalgia. Not one of the big dogs, not one of the big three in story mode, but still has a very, very big role. So, yeah, I absolutely think Lamar deserves to be in the GOAT category. All right, so the next person that we're going to get into is going to be Gerald. Now, how do you feel about Gerald?
Gerald, I'm probably going to put him in meh. He's like a mid character. He's also one of the few that you meet early on in the game, and we still do have contacts with him later on in the game. But I feel like he's not as iconic as some other characters, and his cutscenes are a bit put down. So for that reason, he's probably going to get meh. You know? Yeah,
I'm putting Gerald in the forgettable category. I actually had to look back and like see what cutscenes that he has, and oh my gosh, he barely says anything. Like literally, his character was constructed to be forgettable. He is a very forgettable person. Like some of the other characters in the forgettable category, they were not meant to be forgettable. This person literally is created just to be forgettable. He doesn't say much. He doesn't say much. His missions are meh. He can get G's cash, but I mean, he's not that big of a role other than his name is just attached to it. Yeah, he's just honestly a forgettable person. So yeah, he's unforgettable. All right, so the next person that we're gonna get into is going to be Luchadora. Now, how do you feel about Luchadora?
Personally, without anything to like bring it back, it's a forgettable character. I can't even really think of anything like significant for me anyway. I don't know how other people will feel, but for me, it's forgettable, you know?
All right, so you're thinking very forgettable. This is probably one of the furthest options away from forgettable. At least in my opinion, she is absolutely unforgettable in the wrong reasons. She needs to be remuted. She needs to be removed. She is absolutely annoying in my opinion. Now, I mean, some of these other characters, like we already went into Labrat. Like, I put him in the not great category. Lucha's worse than this. The Lucha is absolutely worse. I mean, I don't know, man. She just does not have any sense on her at all. She's just very, very annoying. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. She just pisses me off every time she opens her mouth, really. And then, like, she's like one of the main ones, too. Or she usually starts out saying the badonka-dunk, which is absolutely annoying. Like, shut up. Shut up, Lucha. Yeah, you need to be muted. All right, so the next person that we're going to get into is going to be Pavel. Now, how do you feel about Pavel?
I think Pavel is, a lot of people are just going to go to him. I think he's pretty good because, yes, you do get the sack, you get the Cayo Perico heist, and he doesn't take too large of a percentage and you do get to keep more. But, you know, for me, I'm not a big Cayo Perico person, so for that reason, he gets pretty good.
Yeah, for me, I'm putting Pavel in the GOAT category. Yeah, this might be one of my only people that's like in the GOAT category that's not a part of story mode. Pavel, he just has some great lines. He's pretty funny. Yeah, he's your right-hand man when it comes to the Cayo Perico heist. Yeah, I definitely think Pavel, he's a great character. They did a good job with him. Yeah, he's a GOAT. All right, so we're getting to our next character, which is going to be Tao Cheng. Now, how do you feel about Mr. Chang?
You know, he's gonna get mad. You know, he has a few cutscenes. He says some funny things, but you know, he goes for meh for me because he's not pretty good. But he has some funny things he says. If he didn't say anything funny or do anything funny, it would get forgettable. But for that reason, he gets a meh.
Yeah, in my opinion, Mr. Chang, Tao Cheng, I think Tao Cheng is pretty good. I think he's in the pretty good category. He's one of these characters, once again, who just does some pretty weird stuff, and you just kind of sit back, and you just kind of have to laugh about it, you know? He's just a pretty funny character, and the game literally just made him this way for this reason. You just made him absolutely ridiculous just to kind of put a smile on your face, and yeah, I think they did a great job with Mr. Chang with that. So yeah, I'm putting him as pretty good. All right, so the next person we're going to get into is going to be Santa. Now, how do you feel about Santa?
Get rid of her. I hate her. I wish she was gone. She is annoying on the phone, annoying in missions, everything. I hate her. I want her gone. She's just, her voice makes me want to quit playing GTA.
So you're mute/remove? Just to make that very clear.
It.
Very, very clear, and I'm seconding that opinion. Yeah, I agree with you absolutely. Her voice is absolutely annoying. I'm throwing KDJ in here too. Yeah, they are absolutely annoying, and you can kind of see it in this cutscene right now. They're absolutely all on top of each other. No one else in GTA is like this, and that's a good thing. No one else deserves to be like this, or no one should be like this. They're absolutely just, it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. And then some of the missions too, I remember, I think it was the ECU job. She's talking about how she wants to bounce on KDJ's mustache. I don't need to hear that. I'm just trying to play a video game, and she's, oh, it's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. So Santa and KDJ, they are the top of the mute/remove category. All right, so the next person that we're going to get into is going to be Charlie Reed. Now, how do you feel about Charlie Reed?
It's probably going to be meh. You know, he was the mechanic, and then in his things, it's just not great, you know, but he wasn't terrible. So he gets a meh for me. Not really much to say about him.
Yeah, I'm putting Charlie Reed as a not great category. I don't know. What was it? His LSA operations missions are very annoying. Shoot, I forgot his other missions too that he got to. I forgot the name exactly, but he's just a little annoying in those missions, in my opinion. Not to the point where he needs to be muted, but you know, he's just not great. So yeah, that's where he belongs. All right, so the next guy that we're gonna get into is going to be Miguel Madrazo. Now, how do you feel about Miguel?
He's just a forgettable character for me. You know, he's there in the Cayo Perico. Just nothing really remembering about him. In his cutscene in Los Santos where he's, you know, driving away. It's not great, so forgettable for me.
Yeah, I think in my opinion, I'm putting Miguel Madrazo as a meh. I think he's a very solid meh. I mean, he's the sole reason that we're even doing the Cayo Perico heist, but I mean, I don't know. His character's not that funny, but his character, it doesn't piss me off to the point. It's not annoying in my opinion, so yeah, I think Miguel, he deserves to be in the meh category. All right, so the next person that we're going to get into is going to be Dax. Now, how do you feel about Dax?
Not great, you know. I don't really like him. I think his voice is a little bit annoying. He looks stupid. Like, I hate the way his look, especially his beard. It's just horrible. And his, you know, I just don't really like that DLC entirely for the reasons of the characters in it, and especially him. So not great.
Yeah, I'm also putting him in not great. I'm thinking a little more of the same thing too. He's pretty annoying. He's one of those people that says the most outlandish things, but it's kind of just, I don't know, his jokes just don't hit with me. He's just a little too, I don't know, he's a little too annoying in my opinion. I don't know. He's just a weird person. Yeah, just not great overall. So yeah, he's not great. All right, so the next person that we're going to get into is going to be Yusuf. Now, how do you feel about Yusuf?
Yusuf, for me, he's going in pretty good because he's a nostalgia character, you know, from GTA 4. He's just funny. I like the way he speaks. I like his actions. And for that reason, he does get pretty good. I like him, bombed all bounties and all that. I just feel like the scenes with him were pretty funny. For that reason, he gets pretty good for me.
Yeah, I'm also going to put him in pretty good. He has some funny one-liners. He doesn't have like that big of a role in GTA Online. I mean, he's just a part of like the introduction for the salvage yard robberies, but that introduction though is pretty funny. He's a pretty funny guy. He's a little bit nostalgic too, so yeah, I'm gonna put him in pretty good. All right, so the next person that we're gonna get into is going to be Avon Hertz. Now, how do you feel about Avon Hertz?
I would want him completely removed because I hate his voice and the way he speaks and the fact he created Clifford. But without him, we wouldn't have the Doomsday heists, which are pretty fun heists when you're doing them. So for that reason, he gets not great.
Yeah, I'm putting Avon in the meh category. I can see your argument for not great, but I don't know. He's not awful. I mean, like, I don't know. Let's just like compare him to Dax, who I also have in the not great category. I just want Dax to shut up. So for that reason, I'm just kind of putting him in meh. He's just a little bit of a mixed bag. All right, so our final person that we're going to get into is going to be Vincent. So yeah, how do you feel about Vincent?
Vincent, he is a GOAT. I love him. He's just so great in every aspect. I felt sorry for him when he lost his job after everything he did for the casino. But I'm thankful. We got him back. He's the best police officer in the LSPD. Somewhere we don't like, but we do now because of Vincent. You know, his missions are great. His cutscenes are great. He looks great. And for that reason, he's just a GOAT.
Yeah, I think he's a GOAT for that reason. But yeah, I think that's going to do it. That is all 41 characters that I could come up with to rank in GTA Online. There's probably a few characters that we didn't get to in this video. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. Make sure you check out this video right here if you want to see me try to make $1 million without breaking a single law in GTA Online.